Doodlebud here, and today I'm going to give you one tip, one idea, one concept to help you improve your writing. Let me show you. I might as well write it out for you, and then I'll explain. Let's choose a pen here. I'll go with this one. So what do I mean by switch it up? Let me give you a quick quote and then I'll explain. Bruce Lee said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks one time, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." I agree with that statement, and to get good, you have to get very good at the fundamentals, and no doubt Bruce Lee probably did practice one kick or one punch 10,000 times, but he also practiced a bunch of other things and got good at a bunch of other things. And if you get good at other things, you get better at everything. So instead of practicing the same sentence or same font, same script with the same pen over and over and over and over, I suggest to you, switch it up. Use the same pen with different fonts, different styles, printing, different styles of printing, different sizes, and then go ahead and practice it with other pens. This printing might look good coming out of this pen with this nib, but put a different pen in your hand with a different nib and a different style could look better. If you can get comfortable writing a character one way, try writing it other ways. Try different styles, try different angles, sizes, spacings. Switch up if you're going to do all block letters capitals or a mix of uppercase and lowercase. Let's just pick one letter. Let's pick the letter B and do a cursive B in a bunch of different ways. Uppercase, lowercase, and also with printing, trying different styles and different pens. Let's go through that exercise together and you'll see how switching it up can get you better at different styles, which will improve your handwriting and printing everywhere. When I was in school, this was the letter B, the lowercase b that I used all the time, and that's how I wrote it, but I never liked it. So I switched it up. I just thought this was always boring. I didn't like the way it looked. I could never make it look really that great. I didn't like also how it connected into some of the other letters. So you can just try changing it the way you do it. Put a bigger loop at the bottom, have it more up top. You're going to have to connect it a little bit differently. You don't have to start from back here. You can do it this way. You can take a little pause in between. That was terrible, but that's okay. You take a pause in between, and sometimes that can change the angle that you do. A different pen nib might give that effect a little bit more appeal. You can put some thought into how you want to connect afterwards. Are you going to have a tail to connect into the other letters down below, or do you want to just break it up and start new? And for me, I don't like that tail, so I don't really join my B. I'd lift the pen off and start a new character afterwards. And I find by doing that, I can introduce different styles, different flares to my letters instead of always being tied into maybe having it have to connect. You can have a little break and it might free you up a little. We can do a search for an uppercase B and see what we find, and then pick out some that you might be interested in. I really don't care for that whatsoever, or those other ones there, or the huge bubble on top and the smaller bump on the bottom. That doesn't really stick out to me. These types sort of have a bit of appeal. That looks kind of interesting. And then you can just pick a few and try them out. If you don't like the ones I showed you there, there's some other style, a little bit more cursive, calligraphy style, if you will. And then you might find one to say, well, that might not be amazing with a fine point nib, but if I use an architect nib or an oblique, that could do the ticket. So this is my current capital B. I'm happy with that. But if I use a different size pen and different size of writing, I might switch it up. I might do a little bit more of a calligraphy start to the letter, and it turns out not too bad. With that other pen, I might not like that style as much. Writing the letter B, two pieces like this, I find can be a little bit tricky, trying to get this angle to line up and where you come through, especially on this pen. So I'll actually probably just stick to this one. I find it turns out better. However, if I use a different nib, this one I find I can do much better. This is fitted with an oblique nib. And I find just having the angle on this nib helps me keep the angle on the rest of my letters. It's always tough to talk and write at the same time, but because this nib has an angle cut into it, I find it is much easier to keep a slant, and it's much easier to do this style of B with this style of nib. You could switch it up and try that same style of B going very large or very small. And then you might find, well, if I do it really big, maybe this type of B isn't the fit I'm looking for. Maybe I do want to start with that angle. Maybe I want to try to change the different loops and where I'm starting and go, wait a second, that is a much better large B compared to this one. This one's taking up too much room. It has nice style when I'm keeping it small, but if I do that same type of stroke, it can almost get too big. The spacing doesn't look good. But if I'm going to write large and I have this type of pen, you switch it up, and this is the type of B you want to go with for large writing that will suit your hand a little bit more. And so when you switch it up, I find it makes you better in all sorts of different places. And when you talk and write at the same time, you're going to have typos in your writing. As you see right here, I'm just going to continue this on without the correct spelling. Should have been the T first, but whatever. If you have a pen with a nice flexy nib and you want to practice your flex writing, yes, use this pen and practice with it, but also doing the same style with your other pens will in turn get you better at using this one. I still have room to improve. This F in particularly bothers me. The height of the I is a little bit off, but I am better now than I was previously at keeping my slant between all the letters when I'm wanting to practice, some flex writing calligraphy style. I found that using this oblique nib, because it has the angle built into it, it sort of trained my hand by force at keeping a more consistent angle with my writing. And so because using this nib improved my consistency with my angle, it turned around and helped me improve my consistency with my angle when using a flex pen. Now, as I talked about earlier, if you can get better in some other areas, it impacts everything. Let's try printing. So I think I hammered that point as much as I possibly could. Don't be afraid to switch it up. Not only does it get boring doing the same things over and over, writing the letters the exact same way over and over and over. Yes, that's part of practice. You have to practice and do the same thing and repeat. But if you can switch it up, try different styles, it will make you better in every single writing style that you want to get good at. Not just cursive, but also printing, different styles of cursive, different styles of printing, and that same style that you normally do quite a bit of, it'll change on you. You can get better. If you want to switch up a letter, if you don't like it, I switched my my F quite some time ago. I did a standard sort of loopy F that we all know before. I just sort of like the looks of this instead. I'm still working on it. With a flex pen, I'm not quite there yet. But with regular cursive, I think I'm sort of close to where I want it to be. I've switched it up a little bit, and my handwriting overall improves. I'll wrap it up and leave it there. I have another video. I think it's something like 7 ways or 7 steps to improve your handwriting. I went over a bunch of different things I've done, but this one is probably the one I don't talk about at all. I don't think I've heard anyone else talk about that, but it really is sort of the hidden key. Just practicing. You can practice one word or just one letter over and over in different ways. And as you get better in one area, it'll improve all your other areas. If you like this video, hit the subscribe, thumbs up, comment, all that stuff. Maybe the join. I gotta go to bed. It's 1 in the morning. Anyways, we'll catch you next time.